a very, very huge series coming up against the best team currently in the National League and the second best team in baseball. For the 2023 NLCS rematch, the D-backs are going into Philadelphia to play the Phillies, who are 49-25 and first in the East the season. Be prepared. This is going to be a tough series. I wanted to get your initial thoughts, Gabe.
This is the most important series the D-backs have had, other than the Dodgers series. I think this is going to, in a lot of ways, make or break what they've been building up to, because I know they've had their struggles, but they seem to be putting everything back together. They're getting a lot of guys back, but I think this is their true test to see where they are, how they can match up. Playing in Philadelphia, like the crowd's gonna be going crazy. Like they hate the D-backs now. They got kicked out of the playoffs by us. We planted a flag in their stadium. Like we owned them last year, so I'm sure they're coming in, with a little extra oomph. I'm not excited, but also if we're able to get out of there with 2 out of 3, I am going to be very, very impressed, and I'm going to have a lot of hope for where this team is.
But I do agree. If they could win 2 or 3, if they could somehow win 2 or 3, I would be ecstatic with it. I just want to see them at least win 1 and just make the series competitive. I don't want to see any fucking blowout games. I don't want to see any like the one time ESPN decides to actually tweet about baseball. It's like, oh my God, the Phillies in their NLCS rematch hit 5 homers and Kyle Schwarber goes 4 for 5 with 8 RBIs, like some shit like that. I just don't want to see it.
God damn it, Brett. Like, seriously? Like, you willed this into existence. All right, everyone. Welcome to D-backs Dispatch. The trio is here. I'm live from Cabo. Fellows are up there in Phoenix. Saying things makes them true, is all I'm going to say. Everything you guys said in that video about what we want to happen was the complete opposite. We did win game 1. We did win another series opener. 6 in a row, by the way. 6 in a row, which is really impressive. Rest of the series, I don't really want to talk about it. Not really that great. But this is your first time finding us here on D-backs Dispatch, whether you're watching us live on X/Twitter or on YouTube. Make sure to, if you're on Twitter, give us a follow. On YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We were also on all audio podcast forms, so make sure to go ahead and give us a follow there. We would appreciate any support as we do this, because there's not a lot of D-backs podcasts out there, so trying to give everyone as much D-backs content as we can. Let's just go ahead and get into game number 1, which was started by Jordan Montgomery. Ends up going 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 Ks on 83 pitches. It was a very heavy sinker day for him. 36 total out of his 83 pitches, so almost half. 9 were on whiffs, but there were a lot of them that were loud contact, so a lot of barrels, which definitely has me a little worried. But this is Jordan Montgomery's 3rd consecutive outing where he is the winner. So, which in these last 3 is 16 2/3, 5 earned, 15 hits, 15 Ks, 4 walks. His ERA is 2.7. Slash line is what I'm really pleased with. Only 234, 279, 391. So that is very good. Now his next 3 starts could be a little bit more difficult, as it's the Twins, the Dodgers, and the Braves. So I definitely feel like the Twins one, which is his next start, will be really good. So just waiting for this. And here are just some clips of his 5 strikeouts. Like we said, he had a good whiff going on all of his pitches, especially his sinker. So, Gabe, question for you. Do we think he can continue this hot stretch he's been on with his last 3 starts? Like, do we feel like he's probably in what we would say is mid-season form? Like, he's finally ready to go after, what was it, like 8 starts or so? Like, do we think he can continue this?
I think he's like in early season form, so I still think he can be better, and he probably will be better as the season goes on. Probably after the trade deadline and all that, I think we're going to see vintage Montgomery. This is the series that I was curious about. We talked about him during the White Sox, I believe, or the Angels, where we said he dominated, but I want to see him do it against an actually good team like the Phillies. And he was able to show out against them. Went 6 innings. Honestly, probably could have gotten a 7th, but just to protect him, protect the what they had going on, so they can bring in the bullpen. But I do think he can be a lot better than this. I do think in these next few starts, he probably is going to have one blow up game, probably against the Dodgers. I'm assuming, just because they have certain guys like Freddie Freeman, Ohtani, and even Mookie Betts. They hit lefties very well. Will Smith as well. So that's probably the game I have penciled in for being a little bit more of a blow up. But everything else, I think he should be fine. He should be good to go against the Braves. Like, the Braves don't really have too much luck against left-handed pitching. So I do think he's going to have one bad start and then 2 good starts. Probably is going to have a gem in between one of those 3.
Yeah. To be honest, I just need him to be I need him to eat innings. Like, if he can give me 5, 6 every start, that's huge, because right now our starters aren't doing that. So for me, I just need you to eat innings, whether it's a blowout, because we need to save this bullpen, because our bullpen has been pretty good. Outside of that, I have no faith. But Brett, same question for you. Do you think Jordan Montgomery can keep this winning streak going? And what would you consider successful starts for Jordan Montgomery?
I'm kind of on the same page with Gabe. I believe he's still, if not out of the tail end of his early season form, just getting to maybe even just regular season, mid-season form. I personally think that this is a good sign that we've seen. Like Gabe said, I wanted to see him do it against an actual good team. The Phillies, other than Trey Turner, they didn't really do anything against him. Silencing Castellanos and June Schwarber, doesn't matter if Schwarber's facing lefty or righty, is huge. So that was big for me. And even looking at his game logs this year, there's only really been 3 starts where he's allowed 4 runs or more. It was the start on May 1st against the Dodgers. And then he had the start against the Mets at the very tail end of May. And then the very first start of June against the Giants. So other than those 3 starts, he's been pretty solid, with keeping the limited runs. And I'd say for a successful start, I just at least want to see a quality start. Like you said, save the bullpen a little bit. I know we have an ace or a bullpen. I know we have a lot of arms back there we can trust. I just still want to kind of pump the brakes on them a little bit, save some of their better innings for when we get into, coming into July, when the team gets back into healthy, when we fully need them to actually, get holds and keep leads versus, when we have Slade Ciccone and some of these other guys going 2, not even 3 innings. And the bullpen's being kind of eaten up a little bit early. So I do want to see Montgomery go 6 innings. Again, it's still, it's no slouch of a slate with the Twins, Dodgers, and Braves. I know the Braves don't have too much slug against lefty, but you still got to worry about Marcell Ozuna. He is very close to Shohei Ohtani when it comes to the best designated hitter in the National League. He's genuinely giving him a run for his money with how good he's been. So there's still a few guys to look out for, but I'm confident in him being able to, feel a little more stretched out. He's still getting taken out around 85 pitches. So if he can just have an efficient 85 pitches through 6 innings, maybe even 7, we've seen him do that before, I'd be more than happy with that. You're muted, sir.
Quality start for me would be yes, because that keeps the team in the game. because that's 3 runs or less in 6 innings. And the way this offense has been hitting or not hitting, like it's such a Jekyll and Hyde. Sure, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. I don't do shots on stream. I don't do those. What are you talking about? Offense is so like we'll see what we saw Friday, and then we'll see what we saw on Saturday. Like it's just so infuriating to watch. Like it's so Jekyll and Hyde. It's driving me crazy.
The one positive at least is the Phillies have literally the 3 best starters ERA wise in the National League. Like I believe top 3. I think it's Ranger, Suarez, Wheeler, and Sanchez. We faced 2 of 3. So at least there's something to kind of like, like hang your hat on. Like, you don't want to get dominated. Like these are the pitchers you do want to hit. But it's not like we're going up there and putting up 2 runs against Eric Fetty.
Yeah, you really don't. Now we got to talk about a more sad story from game number 1. Gabby Moreno gets hurt. Where is it? I put it somewhere. I just don't remember where I put it.
I got you.
Thank you. Brett found it. So Gabby has this leadoff single and gets thrown out at second, trying to stretch it, and he hurts his hand. I mean, I think it's more of his thumb, right?
It was a left thumb sprain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like jammed it on the base.
Yeah, and like you can see it, and then initially when I saw it, I thought it was when he got tagged right there, and I'm like, did it do it on the tag? But after watching it several times, I'm like, no, it was probably on the slide. So he is going on the 10-day IL, which is a major bummer because we saw what this team was last year when Gabby was hurt. Like it was, for me, it's literally night and day. So last year it was very documented that this team was very subpar when he was out. Now he's been placed on IL, but I think they did stay. It's going to be 10 days. They probably could have kept him active, but they didn't know how long this was going to be, so they figured might as well bring up a roster spot. They brought up Jose Herrera. Yay, Jose Herrera. So
hip,
bad.
Jose.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get a single hit before Gabby gets. I bet Gabby gets a hit before Jose Herrera does. Gabby's next hit will be before he. Do you think we'll see, Gabe? Do you think we'll see more of a improvement with the team? Like, do you think it's going to be as far as a drop off without Gabby, or do you think Tucker Barnhart can kind of steady the ship until Gabby's back?
I think he probably could steady the ship. I mean, it's not like Gabby has been, the offensive juggernaut he was last year. But we have seen people talk about Adrian del Castillo. He's in AAA right now, and his stat line, I mean, he's been incredible so far. Like he has 322, 391, and 600, and that's for a 991 OPS. So he's been a monster. The only issue is just that he hasn't had any experience with any of the other guys on the actual roster. Maybe just who would it be? Tommy Henry and Ryan, maybe. So I don't foresee him getting called up. Maybe he should. But I mean, it's kind of a lot for a rookie catcher who hasn't had any real experience with these guys. I think if Gabby's injury is more serious, where he's going to have to be out for a while, come the All-Star break, if for sure he's not coming back until a little bit after, I'm assuming they probably would have him work more with the pitchers, so then they probably would call up Adrian. But as of right now, I don't think they will. I think Adrian is probably maybe a year or two away from getting called up to play behind Gabby, because Gabby's an all-star. Like, I think Adrian is in the same place Gabby was in Toronto, where he's just kind of stuck there. I know we have our issues with Jose Herrera and Tucker Barnhart. Like, they can't hit for crap. Like, but they have good arms. They play good defense. Like, they know this pitching staff relatively well. And if it's only for 10 days, that's 7 games, maybe 7-8 games in that span. They should be fine. Like we were talking about earlier, they're facing Wheeler and what's his face?
Christoph Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez. They weren't going to do anything against him anyways, really. So I think they're okay. As long as it's the 10 days, they're okay. If it goes longer than that, I think we're probably going to be in more trouble.
Yeah. Just I don't think Jose Herrera is a good defensive catcher. I don't. He's not good at framing, so we lose a lot of those close ones. And yeah, you can't hit to save his life. He had 2 pass balls this weekend. Like that, I'm like, you can't.
He has a good arm, at least.
So
he throws out runners at a high
sorry
clip.
for jumping in there, but Brett, do you think the drop off will be as severe with Tucker and Herrera, or do you think this team can go 500 in Gabby's absence?
I mean, sadly, we've already seen it just in the 2 games they've been gone. Again, like I said, just a little bit ago in the pod, it's a little different facing 2 of the 3 Phillies' best pitchers, the really tough, pitching staff. Like you said, Brandon, the offense can be wish-wash, Jekyll and Hyde. I'm not too confident in the tandem of Herrera and Barnhart. If it's only the 10 days, if Gabby's genuinely fine and he's actually good to come back after 5 or 6, and they're just like, well, the longest we could put you on was 10, or the shortest we could put you on was 10 days, so we kind of got to rock with you, then I'm more than okay with letting Del Castillo stay down in AAA, cook, get consistent ABs, still work on his defense a little bit. I know he's not like the top defensive catcher that Gabby is, even like close, like not many people are, not even Patrick Bailey. And again, if this was last year where Gabby went down for a considerable amount of time, I would be 100% begging for. It's also insane that he had a home run supposedly with a sprained thumb, which still to me makes me think that he got hurt on the foul tip. But if he is out for a while and it was like last year, I would 100% would have said bring up Del Castillo right away. But the fact that it's just a left thumb sprain, it's nothing too major. It's not like a red flag yet. And with Barnhart still here, like if Jose Herrera was already our backup and we would try to bring up anybody else, then I would 100% say yes. But it's a little tough. I would rather Castillo still work on a few of the parts of his game that need some development. But if Gabby does kind of have some issues where they're like, it turns out that his thumb's a little worse off and we want to give him another week or so, and Herrera still doesn't have a hit yet, I don't see why not. At least give Del Castillo a shot. Like it's not like we don't send young guys up and down all the time. It's not like it's going to fully, especially if you're up front with him at the beginning and go, hey man, you're going to be here for a small cup of tea, get a few games in. Like, we're not saying that you're not a guaranteed spot here in the future. We're not saying that you're going to be, traded. We're just saying don't expect that you're going to win the starting spot. Like, you're here for a few games just to give us some more offense. Just focus on that. That I would be okay with. But I don't know. I think Gabby's going to be okay. And I think at least with Herrera's arm, Barnhart's an okay hitter. Like, we've seen him just on this road trip alone have some pretty clutch, RBIs. So I think they'll at least hold it over until Gabby's back. I'm just going to have to see it. I can't fully believe in it yet.
Yeah. Shook has a question in the chat for us. What do you think the D-backs need to do before and after the All-Star break to make a run at the division? For Shohei and Freddie Freeman to get hurt, I think the Dodgers have the division wrapped up pretty much. Because
I think they honestly have to get healthy, and they probably have to do something about the third base situation because that's just a black hole on the lineup. I don't know if we're gonna get to it later about that, but maybe we can see about some solutions for third base. But after this coming week, when they face off against the Dodgers, there's 7 games total left against the Dodgers. They're 9 games behind them, I believe, right now, or 9.5, I think, since they played today. It's not impossible. They would obviously have to sweep the rest of the season, but this Dodger team has gone into certain lulls. Like they've lost 3 or 4 in a row. Like they've had issues. There's 10 games left.
No. Oh, sorry. They are 10 games back.
Oh, 10 games back. Okay,
Still
yeah.
though, like
There's 7 games against them. The Padres still, I think, have 7 games against them. This division isn't completely out of the question. Like we were talking about the Phillies. Like the Phillies had also like a 10-11 game lead against the Braves. Now it's about 7. It might have changed over the
8.
weekend a little bit. Yeah. Same with the Orioles and Yankees. They had a big lead. Now they don't have a big lead. Like there's a lot of shifting still left. There's still a lot of the season left. We've talked about it again late early, but at least against the division, there's still a chance just because of how weak that bottom half of the Dodgers lineup is. If we're able to get Merrill back and Zach and Erod like in time for those last few series of the season, we could be talking about it being a lot closer than we think so far.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Game on that one. We definitely need to get healthy. Definitely need to definitely at least win 6 of the 7 that we face against the Dodgers. But just need some more of the offense to get consistent. Need Corbin to fully, continue his getting back. Need the rest of the team, like with Gino, like any third baseman. We have 2023 Nick Ahmed duplicated, but he's just as our third baseman now and not even as good a defense. So,
I wouldn't go that far because
I know. That's
Nick's
just harsh.
defense last year was just like it was average. Gino plays good third base defense, but
I will have to double check on that because I believe I'll remember I saw somewhere, I don't know if it was in the Snake Pit game day thread or if it was on one of the articles, like the Snake Bite articles. I will have to go double check. But I believe somebody did point out Gino's defensive metrics, and he is. I even checked this afternoon. He has 1 outs above average, and I don't remember. I think they said he has like -2 DRS. I could be mistaken. But that's where I'm like, he's not even good at he's not even like we've seen him make some okay plays, but I think that's where some of the plays we make where we're like, yeah, like the. Against the Giants at home a few weeks ago where Seawalk had to save his ass with the perfect tag on the helmet and again, I get, it's the chopping play, whatever, but he's making some he's looking like Blaze out there. And I don't mean to knock Blaze, but Blaze is not a great defender either. So that's why I'm like, if Gino's looking like Blaze out there, but he's hitting like Nick Ahmed, they're not going to do much at the division if they have that, kind of like Abe said, black hole in their lineup.
If they were going to make a move, it would have been today. It would have already happened. So I don't think they're ready to move on from Gino yet. I don't know. Like I said this in the AZ Snake Pit article that dropped yesterday. I don't envy Torrey and Mike Hazen on this. This decision is so hard. So so Brett Shug has a question for you. Just a real side tangent.
Oh yes, I made sure I was going to respond to him in the YouTube chat on my phone to make sure he didn't get ignored. But that is definitely a lot of Diamondbacks cards in the background. I have a little bit of a personal collection with the Diamondbacks, and my Justin Martinez rainbow on this row right here. That's probably one of my prized personal collection part of it. But yeah, that's a bunch of trading cards in the background. Thank you for asking, sir.
So yeah, sure. Appreciate that. So we'll just really quick over just a couple of other highlights from the game. We've already shown Gabby's homer. Jock went back to back with him. So hits a deep one to right center. And I love how the bullpen reacts here, especially Justin Martinez. He's acting like a little leaguer. Absolutely loved it. Joe Mantiply, for me, made the defensive play of the game, turning this 1-2-3 double play. They had the bases loaded. So this was huge for Joe. I think it's better than this. I think this individually was awesome, but Joe saved the game. Because if he doesn't make that play, the game's tied, and who knows what happens.
Do you see what this is?
Yeah.
This is what the children call cap. I'm calling cap on that, sir. There's no way you're saying that.
I do.
He made a great pitch. It was a great pitch. But no. Oh no, no, sir.
So
We will respect tea time in this household.
Yeah. Oh yeah, being a huge Dodger fan, yeah, it probably sucks that you're seeing Jock Peterson play for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
At least you didn't shit talk your team when he left.
Yes, at least he didn't do that. So, but no, game one, we won another series opener, which is so crazy to say. If you would ask me that last month, I'd be like, I don't know. But now we've won 6 in a row, and it's why we're near 500. It really is. I guess we can go on to game number 2. So yeah, Tommy Henry didn't look that great. Really, he couldn't even get through 4 innings. 3 2/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Technically, it's 2 homers. This one to freaking Bryce Harper, dear God, he throws a curveball and it's right on the inside, and Bryce freaking saw it, and he hit an absolute moonshot. Like, the freaking launch angle on that is just crazy. It was just crazy to me. But no, Tommy Henry was then sent down after this game. It's the 3rd time he's gone down. So Gabe, has Tommy Henry proved that he is a good enough pitcher? So as we've seen, he's been sent down 3 times. Do we need another shot to see what he is, or do we know that Tommy Henry is a 4A pitcher?
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, because he'll have random flashes of brilliance here and there, but I think at this point he's a quadruple A pitcher. Like, he's not good enough to be in the major leagues as of right now, and like his stuff is just he just leaves so much stuff hanging. And I will say, in his defense, there were about like 3 or 4 hits in one of the innings they got away from him that were just soft little bloops, and you're like, if the defense had been positioned a little bit differently, the inning could have gone completely different. But just the fact that he gave up those moonshots and everything is just like, he is facing the best team in baseball. Like, I don't care what MLB Network says. Like, the Yankees aren't the best team; it's the Phillies. The Phillies are the best team in baseball, and he's facing the best lineup. Like, they hit lefties very well, and if you leave anything hanging, they're gonna clobber it for a home run because they swing out of their shoes every single time they go up to bat. I think he is a spot starter. But the issue with sending him down, now they're down to 3 pitchers, right? Right now, technically, it's like 3 or 4 starting pitchers. Like, they're down an entire pitcher. But it does suck just because he does seem to have some potential. But if Master says he could try throwing right-handed, yeah, I mean, maybe at this point, why try something else?
Technically, we have 4.
Yeah, just Saccone, but who went 3 innings the other day. So I mean, but with Tommy, it's just he just doesn't have velocity, and you don't need velocity to be successful. Like, there's certain guys that do it very well. Like, for the longest time, Hendricks, Greinke. Like, there's certain guys that know how to move the ball, but Tommy just isn't that. He has 3 pitches, and none of them are particularly elite. So if he doesn't have the velocity to counter it, he might just be a quadruple A guy. Like, he might be a guy that we can send in a trade package or something. Like, as part of a bit of a there's certain teams that sometimes they ask for major league ready talent, and sometimes you can just be like, he's ready, he's major league ready. Like, you can take him for a little bit.
Just in the major leagues, does that count?
Yeah, and like, someone like the Angels, they need pitching. Like, there's certain teams that just need a guy to throw out there, and Tommy Henry could be that for those teams.
I mean, I saw a report that I think it's Matt Moore has been linked to the Diamondbacks. So, a solid lefty out of the pen. I don't hate the idea. So, Brett, you're muted.
Yeah, so he throws harder than Tommy. So I mean, it couldn't be much worse than a 7.04 ERA over 38 innings this year.
Yeah, so obviously we all know what your standpoint is on Tommy Henry. He's not. He's not a major league.
I
long
don't want to.
term.
I don't want to be, like all because again, I was about to make a joke like when Gabe was like, "Oh, like trade him." My instinct was like, trade him to what, Costco for like a couple six packs. Like, what do you want to trade him for? But that's just the troll in me. Like, realistically, you're right. There are definitely teams that would be willing. Like, even the Marlins, you could probably flip him for somebody. Who knows? Jazz Chisholm. Can you play third base? Who knows? I'm just kidding. But yeah, I definitely think at this point, Tommy Henry is he just Gabe hit the nail on the head once again. He just doesn't have an elite pitch, really. He doesn't have velocity. He doesn't really have movement. It's not like Patrick Corbin back in the day didn't he could touch like 94. He definitely has more velo than Tommy, but his slider was really good. Wade Miley has a really good slider. Like, unless Tommy can learn a better slider or maybe I don't know, unlock a few ticks of velo, I just don't think he genuinely has what it takes to consistently get major league hitters out unless you place him in the right situations, which just means he's a bullpen arm. And to me, I think I said it before, he's just lefty Randall Delgado. You put him in if you're down, like we saw him against the White Sox, even against a team that the White Sox mash against, lefties considered mash is putting it nicely because they don't really hit well at all. And they still hit lefties better. And they put up 4 against Tommy. Like, he just, even against the worst team in baseball, he's not able to get many guys out. So I don't have much confidence. I don't remember what you guys said before. He has those flash in the pan starts where he randomly will, even against the Braves earlier this year, where you're like, damn, 6 innings, like 2 runs. Okay, Tommy. Okay. I just, I think that's probably the word of the Diamondback season so far is just inconsistency, whether it's the offense or multiple starting pitchers. Tommy has just been inconsistent his entire career here.
Yeah, our starting pitching depth. That's the only reason that he gets starts is because we don't have any. I wouldn't mind seeing him come out of the pen. Maybe that guy that you need to get 5 outs, 4 outs for. But I think as a starter, I think like Gabe said, like a spot start, like someone gets hurt and they need him to come up and just do that start right then and there. But like him doing it consistently every 5 days, I have no trust in that.
Yeah, and also like if you put him in the pen, he probably could get his velocity a little bit higher just because he doesn't have to go 5 innings or 6 innings. He can just go out there and throw as hard as he can. But I will say, like in his defense, it is hard to just like go up and down over and over. This is what the second time he's gone up and down. This third time, like
third this season, I think like 5th or 6th in the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's really hard to do. Like to go, to AAA, then back up, AAA, back up, like going up and down like this, like that. Like in the office, like snip, snap, snip, snap. Like it's just something that's really hard to do, and it's very taxing on these guys, especially like they're young enough. But Tommy, he is young, but he's not young enough where you're like, there's something to be unlocked there. I think this is kind of who he is. It might take another team to unlock something else, maybe just get him an elite changeup or something. But as of right now, I think he belongs in AAA. Like I said, I hope they could flip him for something. Maybe a team, they see something in him that the D-backs just aren't seeing at all. They can make him a little bit better, maybe a better reliever, then they flip him. So I don't wish any ill will on players or anything like that ever. Like I want them to succeed. Like if they succeed, then we succeed. Like I hate seeing guys go down. Like I know we talk about Gino. Like there's certain guys where at times we can pretend to hate them, but like we want us to succeed. Like we want them to be good because they're good, we're good. Like it's a mutually beneficial aspect of baseball. But when they're not getting the job done, and when we have 3 or 5 pitchers down, and he's getting these spot starts, like the D-backs are giving him all the chances in the world to prove that he deserves to be up there, and he just hasn't shown that at all in his entire career.
Fully agreed, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's got it's kind of weird because before we move on, like one last point, is he has been moved up a lot. And I feel like that's where it seems like he's logged so many innings or he's given so many chances. In his career, he still hasn't even gone over 200 innings. He's at 174, is 130 strikeouts, a 147 whip. So obviously the whip's not good. 5.11 ERA. It's not great, but there's something to work with there. Like, great point that Gabe said. There's probably some team willing to unlock it. And if the Diamondbacks can't unlock it with Brent Strom and their pitching coaches and whatnot, then like Gabe said, I want them to do good. I don't want to see a player struggle. I want to see them actually have success. And if we can't have that here, kind of like with Gino, there's got to be at some point where it's like, hey, I want to see you succeed rather than be in this mental rut here. Go earn your flowers in this other organization and actually, where you deserve it.
How many innings is it?
170 in his career, 174.
170 in how many games?
35 games, 32 starts.
So it's basically like a full season.
Yeah, he's averaging less than 5 innings per start.
Yeah, so that's why I'm again, a 5.11 ERA, it's not amazing, but there is something to work with there that I think would intrigue some team. Like, hey, if the Rays come knocking, go, all right, what you got for us? Do you want to give us another tea time? You can have Tommy. Let's get a win-win trade going,
Yeah, absolutely done. He's not the only one on this pitching staff that I'm done with. Another one is Scott McGuff. Gives up this home run to Nick Castellanos. I don't know if this clip's going to have it. He takes off his batting gear.
It does have it
right
at the very end.
As he steps out of the box.
Which is so hard. It's so cold.
That's so I want that in MLB The Show. I would love that as a no doubt. And watch this. Takes off his glove. I was like, that's some pimp cold stuff. He destroyed. Scott McGuff he's only up there because we don't have any other choice. And that wasn't the only nuke that we saw. Tucker Barnhart got to pitch the bottom of the 8th, and he lobs this pitch inside 43 to David Dahl, and he takes him yard. He's just smiling.
That was genuinely pretty funny.
Every single one of Tucker Barnhart's pitch was that he just lobbed it in there. I would rather you try to actually pitch than just lob it in there. I'm if you're gonna lob it in there, do it softball style. Throw it underhand. I'm pretty sure you can do that because you guys got pitchers like Tyler Rogers who scrapes his knuckles on the field. That's basically underhand. So why can't someone just do the normal windup and just float it up there?
I'm not gonna
Rookie
lie.
of the year. If you haven't seen it, great flick.
Yeah, I agree. Great movie. But I'm not gonna lie, it's it's definitely a rule that I'm really glad the MLB has implemented. Is thank God we don't see this that. We used to see that way more than we do now. And even it's when I feel when guys are going in, it's kind of like Pavin when he went in. Oh, I'm just gonna try to throw I'm throwing to first base or whatever, throwing 70. Even if you're just at least trying to throw somewhat straight, but trying to full on lob it, I'm my dude, you're a major leaguer.
My brother in Christ.
I've seen little leaguers throw harder than that. Go to the League World Series. There's kids pumping 85. Try a little bit harder. But thankfully, we don't have to see that much because the MLB's rules has been hey, you're not allowed. They knew what Torey Lovullo was going to do 3-4 years down the line. They're you're already trying to punt too much with some of your game, your getaway day lineups. You're not allowed to punt by putting in a position player too early. Okay, bud?
Oscar, this is an excellent question. Is Spider Tech only banned for pitchers, or can position players use it?
Did they check him after he came out? Or I guess when he went in? Because I think he was pitching in the 8th, so I don't know how that worked, I guess.
Who knows? But moving on to game number 3, started by Slade Ciccone. He only went 3 innings, but it was fairly decent. He went 3 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 2 Ks. This game, we had a shot at winning. Offense just I don't want to show up. But I think the major takeaway from this one is Justin Martinez is human, ladies and gentlemen. He gave up 2 runs. His ERA basically went up a full run. It's still under 2, which I'm completely fine with. But Torey's use of J-Mart continually confuses me. I'm is he one of your high leverage guys, or is he your inning eater guy? Like, he's done this, I think, 2 out of the last 3 weeks, because I'm pretty sure it was the Jordan Montgomery start against the Mets. He did the same thing. Justin Martinez got like 9 outs, and then he did the same thing here. He was looking for him to get 5 or 6. So, is he whatever he needs him to be, or is he going to be a high leverage guy for those tough outs in the 7th and 8th? Like, I personally want to know what it is, because these guys need to have a defined role to be successful, and like we've seen that once Sewell came back. So it's very tough for me. But Gabe, what do you think contributed to his struggles? Was it facing a really good team? Maybe teams are getting more film on him, or do you think he just kind of got in his head?
He had a lot of little soft grounders in that second inning that just found little gaps. Like those type of plays. It's just he's not a 2-inning guy. Like, I don't understand why Torrey does that with him. Like, he throws 103 miles an hour. Why are you using him for 2 innings? Use him for 1. Like, he's a 7th, 8th inning guy, and then like with the weird balk, like it's just one of those things where he shouldn't have been out there for the 6th. He got through the 5. Okay, bring in somebody else. Like, bring in any of the other guys. I can see maybe why, just because it's 1-0. But still, like, that's not who he is. Like, I don't like you said, I don't understand Torres' use of him. Like, who is he? Is he a Brandon Hughes guy? Like, is he going to come out there and mop it up? Is it TJ McFarland going up 2 or 3 innings? Is he Edwin Diaz? Like, who is he? Like, who? Like, we don't know who he is. Like, like you said, he needs a defined role. Everybody else has one. Thompson, he's going to come in through the 8th. Sewell's going to come in through the 9th, and it's going to be Ginkgo in the 7th. But why not J Mart there, or J Mart in the 6th? Like, he needs his defined role. He can't just be putting out there, left to dry. Because after the first couple of hits, Torrey should also know, like, all right, like, he clearly has nothing left in the tank. It's also really hot and humid in Philadelphia. Like, he threw almost 30 innings in that first one in the 5th. He was almost at 30 innings, and then Torrey throws him out there again. I'm like, what are you doing? He throws 101, 103, 100, whatever. And he's throwing him out there again for another inning. I'm like, you can't keep doing that with him. Like, we're going to get to August and September. He's probably going to be, not all that great just because of his usage. He's thrown way too many innings and inconsistent innings too. Like, he'll pitch Tuesday. You won't see him again until Saturday when he'll throw him out for 3 innings. And it's like, why is he doing this? Like, I truly don't understand his usage of Martinez. He just seems like he sees him like a Swiss Army knife. Like, that's not who he was in Reno. That's not he's ever been. Like, we need him to have his defined role. Throw him out there for 1 inning, high leverage, whatever it is. But you can't keep doing this. And I think that's one of the things that he's been struggling with recently when they scored runs on him. Like, he's not getting hard contact. He's still getting soft contact. It's just sometimes the expected on base average bullcrap, it comes back to bite you a bit.
Yeah. I get why a lot of fans want Torrey gone. It's because of this. The way he manages not just the pen, but like the starters too. Like, sometimes he leaves them in too long or too short. Like, his management of the bullpen, just in the pitching staff, drives me crazy. But Brett, what were your thoughts on what do you think was the reason for Justin Martinez coming back down to earth?
So it's gonna be weird. I feel like I'm actually gonna be a little bit of a contrarian here, and somewhat not like disagree with you guys, but kind of take a different stance. I do agree. He definitely should have not gone out for the 6th inning. He should have been done for the 1 inning. I personally, for how he's kind of handled J-Mart, I like, again, day one J-Mart truther, I would love him to be out there for every high leverage situation possible. But for me, it's kind of like, I'm kind of thinking of it like, I think Torrey knows exactly what he has in J-Mart. He knows that this is an elite, like, this is an elite pitcher. And we've seen in the past, like last year, I think the control issues can just sometimes be a little of a, mentality kind of situation, a little bit of a mental struggle, not getting in his own head. We saw that in Philly. He was fine for the first inning, but then once he started to lose gas a little bit, things kind of the wheels started to fall off. I kind of like how Torrey's, again, I think he should have taken him out. But other than the letting him go on longer, I kind of like how he's letting him slowly but surely get some more high leverage. Like he's still, I don't like how he's using him in low leverage, like, oh, they're up by 4-5. Why are you using like Jmart unless you're up against, if you're up against 4-5 against the Phillies and then there's a runner on or two, totally understand it. Like that's an offense that can turn the game around in an instant. But if it's 4-5 against the White Sox or Angels, like why are you wasting bullets on him other than just if he hasn't pitched in 5 days and you need to get him some work? But other than that, I do kind of like how he's been easing him in there. A game like this, like I think he's not going to see a really high leverage game unless the D-backs are up by 3. Like he'll probably see maybe if they're down by 3, they throw him in there for a clean, like, hey, we need you to just shut it down, which I still think would be good to get his confidence and, kind of swagger back that we know he has. Not like he lost it. But I do think that Torrey's been, I think at times, a little strategical in a good way with how he's used Jmart and somewhat preparing him for, again, being our future closer. Like we don't want him to be, too frazzled too early and turn into a Luis Frias where next he just genuinely can't find the strike zone ever again. Like I'd rather have him, kind of ease his way into being our Johan Duran, our stud ace, elite closer.
Wouldn't be surprised if you saw closer next season because I think Paul Sewald is in the last year of his deal. I could completely see Justin Martinez as our closer for next season. So really hope it's true. But Brett, topic number 2. What do we got?
So as we've seen a bunch, I believe it's Jack Summers at Shoe Wizard has a very lovely tweet that is just common, way too common that I don't like. Whenever the D-backs are down by 2 runs or more at any point in time, they are 1-34 this season. At any point, whether it's they give up 2-3 runs in the first inning and they tie it, they still have lost that game. If they've given up 2-3 runs in the 8th when they were tied there, they have not come back to win the game. Like they just literally, we've called them the lay down in Diamondbacks, but there's a name that I read when I was reading the game day recap from, I might be mispronouncing it. I think it's Vila from Snake Pit. Great game day recap. If you guys didn't get a chance to catch the game, go give that a read. Recaps literally every inning. Very, very informative. But they dubbed them the Turtlebacks because the second they roll over onto their back, they just give up. And I think the question, at least I had, is what's the reason why this team has gone from the Answerbacks in 2023 to being the Turtlebacks this season? There hasn't been that many negative changes to the offense. I don't get it.
For me, it's Domo. Domo was out for so long, so I'm hoping that changes now that he's back. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think it's probably that. Same with Alec. Like they usually were the ones causing chaos, especially those later innings. They would be the ones who get on base for Corbin and for Cattell. And I think that's also another thing. Corbin hasn't been the same Corbin he was last year. Gurriel had his struggles. Basically, this whole team has had their struggles early on. But this is excessive though. 34, that's a lot. That's a lot of losses. Hopefully that switches. I mean, because we were talking about the same thing with the series opener. There were 4-16 in series opener or 3-16, and now I think they're right about 10-16 in season opener. So they're coming around a little bit. They're turning things around, and now with Perdomo back, and I know we might talk about Alec being back very soon. One of these road trips or series, I guess. But I think that's partly it. It's just we have so many injuries, and hate to blame him for everything, but Gino too. He's had a lot of bases loaded, 2 guys on base, and it's just been a lot of strikeouts and groundouts, and it doesn't help at all. In the 9th inning, it was Perdomo, he got on base, and then not to give him too much airtime, but the Goldschmidt Habits account, was very pissed off at the way Torrey was using the offensive players, and so y- you know, I have a lot of issues with what he was saying, but also I think he was right to a certain extent because we have an off day today. They had time to rest today, so I don't know why Corbin Carroll wasn't in. He had a screaming liner that helped score the run with Perdomo. It's just one of those things where we've talked about Torrey just taking out three guys, three of our best guys at once, and now with um, Moreno out, it's like don't take Corbin out because everyone talks about we want to protect him from injuries. Gabby plays half the time, and he still got injured. Gurriel is like the only semi-consistent guy, and he was weirdly injured on Saturday too. And doesn't matter how much rest you give these guys, injuries happen no matter what. So it's good to protect them early on, but also we're getting to the part of the season where you can't just keep protecting them. Like Aaron Judge plays every day, Otani plays every day, Mookie Betts plays every day, Freddie Freeman plays every day, and these teams are winning, at a really high clip.
Well,
So,
Mookie doesn't right now because
yeah, but he was
cut his
injured
hand.
again. You can't predict that he got hit. He has a fracture. You can't do anything about that. So it's just one of those things where
The hell? Where'd Brandon go?
I don't know, internet.
Didn't.
But
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There he is.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where I think that contributes a lot to it, just the way Ori has been punting a lot of these games, it seems, and he can say he's not punting them, but when he's throwing out B lineups, especially with a lot of these, we'll have Tommy Henry going on the mound, and he puts in his B team, and you're like, man, you want to put your A team out there, like. He's going to need all the help he can get, but he just, I don't know. It's just, I think it's a lot of things mixed together, and I think there's a lot of blame to go around.
Yeah, the Corbin sitting. I mean, I definitely making a great point with Moreno out. I would have, looking back, kind of preferred Corbin starting, but I guess I could see it somewhat on the. I mean, you got to get him going against lefties at some point, so you can't just hide him at the bottom of the lineup or just hide him on the bench like the entire time. But again, Christopher Sanchez is a very good lefty. There's a very good reason why the Phillies gave him that extension. His changeup is insane. Like he was making the Diamondbacks look like I do in MLB The Show on Legend. Was disgusting, and we struggle against lefties in general. So I could see a little bit. I would have maybe preferred him being subbed in a little sooner when you kind of need to get the team a little bit of life. Maybe when Banny got ejected. Maybe a little before that, but I mean, it is a little bit, I'm tired. I do agree. I'm tired of some of the, constant, you don't just have one guy out. You have 2-3 guys that are hot in the lineup. You have two of the hottest guys, and then everyone else, you got to get them going. So you let the guys that are cold go. But I don't know. The Corbin one,
he also said, he also said 2 weeks ago that Gino's going to have reduced playing time. And since then, he's been playing almost every single day.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I agree, especially when I'm not gonna lie, I know the actual stats and slash line. It's not like Blaze doesn't look like he's doing better, but I genuinely feel Blaze has better at bats, just sees the ball better. Fouls pitches off better. If he gets something in the zone, he might he'll probably get a base hit here and there where Gino just doesn't.
I mean, Gino right now it literally looks like that Bugs Bunny meme when he throws that little soft pitch and he's just 1, 2, 3, you're out. 1, 2, 3, you're out. 1, 2, 3, you're out. That's kind of what Gino is. At least Blaze puts up a little bit of an at bat against even the best pitchers. And like I said, Blaze at least has the potential to get better. He adjusts. He's been adjusting all year. They adjust to him. He adjusts back. Gino has just been bad all year. He's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's like we can't just keep throwing him out there and expect him to get better because he's not. Everyone keeps saying, "No, he has a turnaround coming. He has a turnaround coming." We've been saying that all year. We're 2-3 months in. We're heading into the All-Star break in a couple weeks. We can't keep punting away losses like that. If you're going to put Gino in, put him at the 7 or 8 hole. Don't put him at 5 or 4 like he's been doing because we can't keep losing games like this.
Yeah, it was pissing me off. We'd see lineups where it's Marte, Corbin, Flippin, whatever. Jock, Walker, Gurriel, and then Suarez. I'm like, no, Suarez needs to be in the 8th spot, right ahead of Domo. That is what was, yeah. I don't remember what game it was. There was a slider that was like 3 feet out of the zone. It's a 3-2 count, and he just wails on it. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done. Like, I can't. I just can't watch this anymore. I would rather we do the law firm of Domo, Blaze, Newman at short and third. I would just rather have those 3 guys there because I can't. It's like sacrificing 3 outs. So you're like, oh, we don't have 27 outs. We have 24 outs now to get things done. And that really handicaps you. And now with Jose Herrera in, if you have both of those, I'm like, that's just like, okay, so you have 7 innings to get stuff done, not 9. And that, I just can't. So, yeah, it was a bummer to see series losses. I felt like we had a good momentum going with either tying a 4-game series or winning a 3-game series. But I want to give a shout out to all of our amazing followers on Twitter. We did a giveaway, I believe. Brett, did that start Wednesday or Thursday?
We actually did it, I believe, Friday. So that's how insane everybody was. I believe just on Friday alone.
Like 8:50, and we're like, all right, so we're getting close here. Once we get past 1K, we're gonna go ahead and do a giveaway. Y'all did some show. Yeah, there's the hat we're giving away, and Brett's gonna model some of the stuff that we got.
Got the B guy card. Can't go wrong with one of those. The legend himself. Legend in the show, legend in our hearts, whether he's in AAA or he's actually on the Major League roster.
You shut your mouth. You speak for yourself.
Then we got 3, I feel like 3 fan favorites. Oh, about to be 4, but 3 for cards anyway. We got Domo, rookie Bowman's best. Pretty nice signature on that one. Our ace, Zach Gallen, rookie card, Topps Auto. He's got the old Players Weekend uniforms back when we just got him, so he still has like number 53 with the name Gals on the back. And then the hopeful MVP for us and the eventual starter for the NL in the All-Star game this year. Catal Marte. Second base, yes, sir. Catal Marte, Topps Tier 1 autograph right there. And then the Piece de Resistance, Justin Martinez, signed 8x10. This guy I actually got personally signed by him at the Arrowhead Mall not too long ago. Like, so it comes with the actual autograph ticket that shows like date and time and everything. So, and also, as you guys saw on the tweet underneath, there is the photo of proof I actually, got of him signing it. So, again, appreciate literally every single one of you guys. I know we'll probably really quickly before we do the announcement go through and just do a quick word, but seriously, bottom of our heart, we would not be here without any of you guys. We could not be doing this. Like, we would be sitting here talking to ourselves with no input from anybody, like nobody to do this with, like, no community. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of all of our hearts, we appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, it was really great. And you guys came out with a fury vengeance when we posted this. Like, that thing, like, we went from like 850 to 1K in like, 2 hours? And my phone would not stop going. I'm like, oh, wow, this thing is really taking off. So this is not the only one we're going to be doing. We will be doing this consistently. So, and the main thing is you want to make sure that you follow us on Twitter /X at DBacksDispatch. So you don't want to miss any of that future stuff. But without further ado, we will announce our winner here live.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
And our winner, Jose Rodriguez Gomez. We will go ahead and reach out to you to get everything all situated so we can make sure that we get that out to you. We appreciate everyone for entering in. Like I said, this is not the only giveaway we will be doing. We will try and do these a lot more because we do like to involve our community and just saying thank you to everyone that interacts with us on a daily basis. We appreciate all the support. But most of that stuff came courtesy of Brett. As you'll know, Brett is a huge baseball card collector. He's a Advantage member, so he was able to get the hat. So it was all really, really cool. Just want to give a thought. And just, Gabe, you got any thoughts on just like this giveaway and this community that has treated us with open arms?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who follows us on Twitter, especially. Like, I mostly do all the memes on Twitter, so I do see like the people who like and comment on it. It's a lot of the same people who always give us likes and comments and everything. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Just to be able to hit 1,000, and we're 6-7 months in. Like, the season is just getting away. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff that we want to do and want to keep doing, and we want you guys to join us for the ride because, again, this is a grassroots thing. Like, we just barely started. We'd never really had much of a backing until very rare, recently. Like, we're not sponsored by DraftKings or FanDuels or Quick
Circle
Trips.
K?
Quick Trips or Costco gasoline. But we do this because we love it. Like, as of right now, we're not getting paid for any of this. Like, so people know we're not getting paid for any of this. We're doing this because we truly love the D-backs, truly love this D-backs community. So, we're happy to be here.
We have accusations in the chat here. Uh-oh.
Oh, which one?
He's admitting he's not saying which one. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Who knows? But let's just kind of get on to our final topic here. We do our series preview of our next series, which is the Minnesota Twins. So series starts tomorrow. We got the Thought Father versus Ryan on Tuesday. Wednesday is Ryan Nelson versus Woods Richardson. And then Thursday is Jordan Montgomery versus Chris Paddock. Series win for me on this one. I think is very, very doable. I think it's really hard to predict a sweep. Just the way that this offense has been so up and down. Like, I don't have the confidence in saying that. And the way Brandon Fox been pitching, if his offense shows up and supports him, he's going to be good. He's going to get the win. But Gabe has plenty of memes of it where they don't. And Jordan Montgomery's been pitching very well the last month. So I think that's a win. Ryan Nelson, I have no idea which one we're getting because it's at home. So who knows? Gabe, just any quick thoughts on the series versus Twins?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm hoping for a series win out of this. I'm not expecting a sweep. But it should be pretty good. Like, the Twins are a good team. They're fighting against the Guardians for the division, so it should be a fun series anyways.
I forgot how good the Guardians are. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, Guardians
over 500
because freaking Stephen Kwan is almost hitting 400, but he did miss a month.
Finally hitting home runs.
Yeah. So, Brett, just any thoughts on Twin series?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The Twins are a really good team. It's not like I'm not saying like they're not the Phillies as like, to slight them in the slightest. They're still 8 games over 500. They're still 10 games better than the Diamondbacks in that aspect. They're still a good team, especially, the Twins ERAs, 3.13 for Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan, I've seen him pitch a lot of games. He has some starts where he can go, 7 innings, 1-2 runs, even less. So that'll be a tough one. Woods Richardson hasn't seen too much on, so I'm going to do a little bit of research on him. But just the 3.26 ERA, I don't know if he just had not too many starts this year, so still good, good enough ERA. And Chris Paddock, in the past when we faced him, obviously it was years ago on the Padres, but I don't think we necessarily like hit him too well. I think we had a few starts where we put up some runs, but hopefully we can increase his ERA a little bit more. But yeah, home Ryan Nelson is going to scare me a little bit. And then Monty against thankfully, actually, no, I'm going to say Brandon Pfaadt is going to terrify me. I am not usually a man to talk much about betting on this show. I don't like to push it or really, condone it as much. But Royce Lewis absolutely fucking destroys right-handed pitching and hits so many home runs. Brandon Pfaadt gives up a lot of home runs. If you put the 2 and 2 together, sometimes if you take a side with peanut butter and take a side with jelly and put it together, you get a peanut butter and jelly. If you put Pfaadt and you put Royce Lewis together, I'd bet on a home run that game from Royce. I mean, it's. I hope Pfaadt can prove us wrong, but I don't know, man. I need to see him not have a blow up inning.
And cheeseburger shot. Is he gonna get it up there?
I mean, he has the power to do it, man. He has the power to do it.
Yeah, he really.
Yeah, I'm hungry now too.
He really, really does. But no, just one quick thing here. We got an update on Merrill Kelly. He's probably not coming back till after the All-Star break and probably closer to mid-August, which is just crazy to think about. He's literally going to be out the entire season, basically. But as long as we can stay within this playoff hunt, and when we get him back in mid-August, it's like making a trade deadline deal. Like Merrill Kelly is that good. Like it's like making that kind of acquisition. So I'm hoping that we're still in that wild card hunt. And I swear, if he comes back before Erod, I'm gonna be like, what? Like this is crazy to me. So crazy to think about. We also got our latest All-Star voting update. Cattell is now in first place at second base in the National League, but it's not by much, ladies and gentlemen. Deadline, I believe, Brett, you said closes on Thursday.
I don't know exactly what time on Thursday. I do believe it's Thursday, though. It might be like afternoon time because I don't think they usually end it around the night. I think they like to get it in around like 2 or 3 Eastern time. So I'll double check and we'll put a tweet out.
Make sure to keep doing what you're doing. Use your 5 votes a day. If you have multiple emails, vote more. We got to get Cattell in. He's probably, at least for the starter, Cattell's the only one. I feel like there's a couple others that are deserving. But luckily after that, it's based on players and coaches voting. So we may not see a player like Johan Rojas, who's in AAA and didn't even make the AAA All-Star game, being in the top 10, which just boggles my mind. But Philly fans are doing what you're supposed to do with fan voting. You vote your guys in. So yeah. Gabe, just thoughts on Merrill Kelly and Cattell getting back, being in first place where he belongs.
Yeah, hopefully we can get Merrill back because apparently Erod is a real person because, I haven't seen him. None of us have seen him so far. We don't know when he's coming back or if Daddy's coming back ever. He went out for milk and we'll see. But Merrill is, they call him the mainstay for a reason. He's been our most consistent pitcher since we brought him over. We need him, I think. Same with Gallen. We need these two guys, these two cornerstones in our lineup. These are two aces. Ace A and Ace B, we need these guys back, and hopefully he's able to come back maybe a little bit sooner because I know he said he's probably gonna be back in August. Either way, hopefully he comes back ready to go. He comes, being able to pitch enough innings to get us into October and everything. So at least he might be fresh for then, which I'm happy about, and also for Cattell. Happy to see him be in first place where he belongs because he's top 3 in MVP right now, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be starting second baseman. Also, vote for Christian Walker. He's in 6th place. It's ridiculous. Pete Alonso's over him.
Brett,
yeah,
thoughts on Merrill and Marte?
The Merrill one, it is a little bit sad because I believe we were at least maybe not misled, but the initial thought was maybe before August. So it sucks it's me mid-August, but hey, as long as we get him back and we can get some good innings out of him, I'm okay with it. And then the Marte one, we're not done yet. We're not the fight is not finished, soldiers. We are not done yet. We need to continue riding forward, riding till dawn. Okay, we need to go defend. Minas Tirith. We need to go make sure that Sauron, Luis Arias, does not take the one ring, the
He's
one
playing
starting
first base
spot.
right now too.
And make sure he does not take it from our man Ketel Marte. So make sure once you get him into the final two, make sure we show out even more, and doesn't even have to be a competition. And then one last thing that I didn't want to get back to with the Twin series. Make sure you guys do check out D-backs Europe. They do have a fantastic series preview. Just looking up Woods Richardson, they actually did get him in the Jose Barrios trade, I believe.
Toronto.
With Toronto, yeah. Yeah, so he's actually pretty solid. So definitely go check out their series recap, because I'm like even just looking at it right now, and throughout the episode, I've already learned more than I would have expected. So there's some great series previews to get caught up before.
Yeah, and just want to say thank you to AZ Snakepit for welcoming us to the crew. We appreciate it. If it's your first time checking us out, make sure to follow us on Twitter at DBacksDispatch. If you're seeing us on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't miss any of our future videos, we will see you on Thursday after the Twin Series. See you later.